Good afternoon once again. Thank you for staying tuned on this short break. Here we are in the lower bracket final. I am joined by DNA Galaxy.
Howdy.
Now, you're here to provide a little bit of extra analysis in the drafts and just post games. And we'll be shortly going through to Towers of Doom. But can you give us any extra info on perhaps ZENON and Hooye Polucky, who have just dropped out of that winner bracket final?
Yeah, it was actually a good series watching that. The Murky pick really did wonders for the opposition team, and that unfortunate Aegis at the end there, which hit Leo. But obviously, I've played with probably all of the members of ZENON at some point, and they're a really good team. Obviously, I played with X-Ray Winsies every day last season, which is kind of the same with Kelvin and X-Ray. But no, both teams are very good. You know, Garrosh Zarya seems to be a staple for ZENON, but I don't know. It's going to be a close game regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've already gone straight into the draft here where, Hooye Polucky are the first pick on Towers of Doom. They've got to recover from that sort of top bracket loss. Do you think, is that going to affect them at all mentally?
I think they've played in Divest. They've played in quite a lot of tournaments recently. Obviously, the Masters Clash qualifier. So I think their mindsets, they just reset. It's another 0-0 game, another best of 3, and just hope they can pull it off.
Yeah, the experience on a lot of these players is, it goes on. There's quite a list of the championships they've all played for. Thank you again for the subs again on the channel. That's always good to see. Yep, that early Garrosh ban, as you were saying, that Zarya Garrosh thing, it's really come up in the meta quite a lot in the last, couple of weeks and months, really.
Yeah, in in-houses as well, there's been a lot of Zarya. Zarya's just moved up the ranks. Like, she's just reappeared again because she died off a little bit and then came up. But the ETC ban to follow up, so really challenging the tanks. I know Will Q's a big fan of ETC, so it's a good ban there.
Yeah, we saw some sort of Medivh bans against Hooye Polucky. Is that something that ZENON are scared of, do you think?
Yes. Just as
I'm
I deserve.
I'm not 100% sure which player actually plays the Medivh, but I know both teams can play the Medivh, so it might be a factor. I know Ultralist likes to play Medivh as well for ZENON, so both teams definitely can bring out the Medivh when needs be.
Yeah, it looks like they're taking a little bit of time here thinking about this second ban. There's still so many of those power pick heroes left over. I mean, Ana is certainly a hero that a lot of teams are scared of, but Li Ming banned instead.
I mean, Li Ming ban is pretty weird. Like, Ana's still open, Zul's still open, Deathwing's still open. Deathwing on this map, especially with Skyfall on 7 to delay the objectives forever. And first pick Deathwing. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we've not seen a lot of Deathwings there. I think it's been played in 1 or 2 matches beforehand. Against ZENON as well, but ZENON weren't scared of it then, and they've obviously made it here. They've got the victory, and they've gone for a Valor Leoric straight away to is that a sort of counter strategy against the Deathwing?
The Leo is definitely a counter to Deathwing. Obviously, you can go W build, for instance, and just do a high percentage of drain life to him, or to the Deathwing, and then Vala, late game, once she gets Manticore, is also very effective. But the Zul pickup as well, like Zul Deathwing, heavy rotation, heavy delay, obviously with the Deathwing once again with Skyfall. It's a very strong second, third rotation.
Yeah, and with that Rhaegar to boot as well, just increasing the amount of wave clear and camp clear that Hooye Polucky have. It's something that ZENON really have to consider right now.
I think that's a little bit of a SYLVANAS respect for Gore Rider as well, who's been playing it quite a lot this afternoon.
Yeah, and the Zarya respect, as we were sort of talking about earlier. these respect bans, that's sort of something that I think really comes out here in Division 1. So when a player, because it's quite often spotted in Storm League, isn't it, when someone's just one-tricking a hero, and SYLVANAS, massive respect there.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to deal with players on their best heroes. Like Dainu's Zeratul will no doubt be banned at some point today, I assume. But Johanna Malfurion, just another strong staple again. They can go into a hyper carry Vala if they need to, or they could look for another burst hero. Like a Jaina, for instance, just a burst through like Zul's shield on his trait.
yeah, I mean, these drafts much more sort of these meta picks that I think everyone has been seeing recently has been let through rather than the Murky and the Butcher. So a much more standard draft, and with the Falstad as a little bit of an extra global there. I mean, which draft do you favour here right now?
I honestly believe Will Q's team, just because of the Deathwing for the channel delay, will allow Zul to obviously double soak more effectively, and I think that's something that the Falstad will struggle to counteract. But late game, both teams are very strong team fights, so if Will Q's team can get ahead early, then it will be have a big impact.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, those big impact heroes in the late game. You know, Hanzo as well has always been seen as a big pick on Towers of Doom, and yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It can go either way. Thank you very much to all the subscribers we've got today. It's been great, and yeah, it's always good to see some support coming in for the channel. This, of course, is the Mythic Championship. We've got the lower bracket final here coming up. It's obviously the first match between Hooye, Polucky, and ZENON. It could go really either way, but we'll be going over to our casters with Aaron and Aviator, who will bring us this our game very shortly. We've just, I guess, which oh, sorry, just choked a little bit there, literally and figuratively. Yep, and which. Yeah, Aaron and Aviator are going to be bringing us this cast. We've had a fantastic bit of analysis here from DNA Galaxy. Please, everybody, yeah, enjoy the cast.
Good afternoon, everybody, and yeah, here we are for this best of 3 semi-final. But let's introduce the team. So on the left side, we have Dino playing on Leoric, Malfurion played by X-Ray, Johanna by Death Knight, Vala by Kelvin, and Falstad by Ultralisk.
And on the right-hand side, we have Balser on Deathwing, Dyler playing Rhaegar, Gore Rider on the Handsome Hanzo, Ruzu on Zul, and the Will Q on Mal'Ganis.
The Handsome Hanzo, is that the official the official term now for Hanzo?
Let's not judge me, okay?
Is it your kind of guy?
Anyways, we are going to see that both teams are going to go straight mid. I absolutely love the fact that we have Deathwing and Zul on the same team. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows at the moment that Zul seems sort of giga broken, and obviously Deathwing is still pretty strong, but there's Zul. Obviously, Leoric can sort of keep up with the wave clear, but I feel like the Zul will still sort of pressure it. And automatically, we see top, we see a little bit of a gank attempt there with Ultralisk just trying to pressure the Zul there.
It is Zul in the off lane instead of the Deathwing, and instead they put the Deathwing into the 4-man, which is a pretty good response against the Leoric solo lane. Pretty good response in my opinion, but you do negate that double soak that Zul can provide. However, that double soak doesn't really come online until level 4, so I can see why they're doing this.
Yeah, and also obviously I think Leoric into Deathwing he's just asking to get wrecked in the lane, aren't you? And particularly on towers as well, as you mentioned, double soak is so sort of important on this map in particular, I think, over everyone else. But we see sort of Falstad just pressuring the Zul top, sort of hovering around and just trying to take down these towers early.
This means that the red team has an opportunity to invade with a 4v3. We see the Will Q going in, getting a perfect stun on Shelvin, but he is so out of position and he gets rooted. Oof, that is not a nice place for Mal'Ganis to be.
No, and first blood goes over to ZENON here. So ZENON picking up the Sapper Camp as well. Obviously, this map, Sapper Camps are so important just to continually pressure the bot lane. Obviously, you can take them, I think they're up every sort of 2.5 minutes. So.
In general, Towers of Doom, the way the game is played is the team that wins the bottom tower is the one that isn't controlled, because you control so much of the map and so much of the channeling objectives on this map. So it is very important. We do see a small engage by Dyler there, the wolf biting Deathwing in the butt.
Yeah, Dyler smiling away, getting the attacks there. But we see. What do you think of the Falstad level 1 talent going into marksman build here?
Ooh, I usually go the bribe, but I mean, this is a very standard level 1 as well. Nothing here is out of the ordinary, out of any talents I see so far. Fueled by Torment, Zul is going Q build, Hanzo gone AA build instead of Q or Scatter.
Yeah, obviously just want to try and pressure that Johanna and Leoric, I assume. But yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, we do have the blind from Johanna as well, which kind of negate it. But we see the Wilkie just trying to go in here, pressure Johanna. But Johanna, of course, does have that Iron Skin available. Wilkie needs to be careful though. Doesn't want to get caught out again, and does rotate away.
So generally in these, in the first objective, both teams just get the ones on top on their side, and they fight and contest for the bottom one. However, there's only 2 red members in the bottom lane. They are definitely not going to get this channel, as X-Ray on Malfurion gets the free channel in bot lane.
Yeah, and we see Deathwing actually trying to channel it up top as well. So they are the red team going for an aggressive invade here, and bot lane meanwhile the blue team responds to this by just taking down their front towers. But we see the Falstad getting taken down in the top lane, and that's evened up the kills.
It has. Dino is in the bush ready to interrupt one more time. He needs to smack Dialer as well to interrupt it, but does he? Oh, he does get a smack there, and the channel gets interrupted. All the meantime, Shelvin, Deathwing, and X-Ray are just pushing bot lane.
Yeah, they got a lot of value here, bot lane. Johanna going deep though, trying to keep this Hanzo kill, but does walk away. Good sleep from Morganis. The root coming out, just trying to zone Morganis away. Morganis still chasing Miss down. Deathwing is in the sky as well. Rhaegar's coming down here, but the Wilkie taking a lot of damage here from Kelvin. And Kelvin takes him down, but X-Ray falling low as well as Deathwing lands and gets the kill, but Hanzo goes down.
Ooh, a 2-for-2 trade. Very interesting fight here. Very close as well. This is going to be a really good match. Just even seeing from the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see Leoric mid they're trying to negate, I think, the Zul double six. They're sort of leaving their global top lane, and Leoric just sort of rotating between top and mid as well.
Despite the fact that Zul is such an overpowering hero in the solo lane, as always, any counter to a melee solo laner is a ranged hero. It is such a toxic way to deal with it. But Rutsu is doing very well, not dying, not getting ganked too much, and props to him for being patient and playing safe.
Yeah, Dino missing the drain there though, and pops him stopple early. Gore Rider goes in, trying to secure this kill. Dino looks like he's gonna go down. And yeah, of course, Dino falls there. Falstad meanwhile flying bot there, as we do see an invade attempt here from the red team onto the Sapper camp. But the Wilkie, again, falling extremely low, just taking that pressure from Falstad and Kelvin.
But it's okay, because they got the camp as Gore Rider chases away Ultralisk. Balster's still pretty healthy, but he is getting shredded. Oh my goodness. Oh, and Hanzo is extremely low as well. Vala does die, however, and so does Malfurion, but the trade with the Hanzo.
Yeah, Leoric obviously getting that trait value, coming back early here, trying to get the Zul kill. Does land the drain as well. Death Knight going in for the slow, and these team fights are so sort of fiesta at the moment.
I'm so sorry. There was 2 fights going on, one on the other side of the camp and one on the other, so I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, but we do see the channels being started. Deathwing interrupting mid. Has he got another interrupt? No, that's going to be Death Knight obviously backing out from bot lane. It's quite low, does tap, as we are going to see a fight over this bottom altar. But level 10 is on the side here for the blue team.
That is true, but the red team are just about to get level 10. However, they take this instant advantage to blow up the Wilkie with a huge gust and a blessed shield and a Leoric Entomb. Mal'Ganis might just be able to pop his ultimate in time. He does not, and he does fall. However, the red team has not backed out. They're still going in to take this fight. Deathwing getting shredded. Dino just took so much poison damage and gets
the Hanzo arrow.
Huge arrow by Hanzo. Oh, wow.
Balsa taking a lot of damage here from the Vala and does fall as well. The blue team is 3v3 and Seshwell comes out onto Gore Rider, keeping him alive. Dyla goes back in, trying to bite down this, chase down X-Ray. The root comes out though, and Rhaegar goes down. Gore Rider needs to be careful. Kelvin eeing in, and yeah, of course. The blue team cleaning up here, and Dino obviously getting that trait value again, spawning here. Zul says, I don't care, tries to go back in, but obviously into a 1v4.
I love it. That was a very close game there. It looked actually quite good for the red team. It looked like, yes, that one hero died, the Wilkie had got bursted down, but it looked like such a great comeback with the 2v2 trade. However, just the last 3v3, the Rhaegar trying to be the tank for the team just did not work out very well.
Yeah, and I think at 13, Falsta's going to really start chunking into this front line of Morganis, Zul, Deathwing, because you get Giant Killer. So with this marksman build into those 3 heroes, I think the team fights they're really going to start pressuring. Obviously, Valor at 16 gets Manticore as well. So yeah, they're just going to continually farm the front line, I think.
Well, we didn't get a chance to discuss ultimates. I don't think there's anything out of meta here. We don't see Bloodlust, unfortunately. However, I am going to skip on to say that the red team is invading the Zapper camp, which is really important because there could be a fly from Falstead. Yes, there he is. Ultralisk is flying in. This could be a big invade. He's going to try and gust everyone off the point. Big gust, big Blessed Shield. X-Ray pops his ultimate. Hanzo ultimate is just enough to interrupt them.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hanzo trying to back this. Calvin gets the Q onto him and Hanzo goes down. Balsa going back in here, trying to get big damage. Bellowing Roar comes out, throwing them away. Dino, meanwhile, trying to pressure the Will Q. Will Q doesn't have his ultimate available either, so needs to be careful. There's no Ancestral. Balsa just taking a lot of damage here and should fall. Yeah, and Balsa goes down on that Deathwing.
Big oof. Oh, X-Ray getting the root on Mal'Ganis. He might just die. Oh. His sleep passive movement speed allows him to get away, while the blue team push the Zapper camp's bot lane, which means chances are they are going to get the bot tower and the channel bot, which means 5 shots for the blue team.
Yeah, this is looking rough at the moment for Hooye Polucky. It's not over yet. Obviously, Towers of Doom, we've seen some great comebacks, and it's still pretty even in the. They're not too far behind at present, but they did engage that. But they did engage into that camp, a talent tier down as well. So, and as we see, it is 14 kills to 8 at the moment.
X-Ray looked like he was in a scary position. There he is, gets bursted down by Hanzo because Hanzo's such a balanced hero.
Hanzo arrow coming out here, landing onto Dino. Dino stunned forever, gets the root from Zul as well, doesn't have Unstoppable, and gets taken out. But obviously, if you're going to lose a hero, I don't think you mind losing Leoric in these team fights.
Yeah. If you're going to lose the hero, you might as well lose Leoric.
Yeah, guess the trait value, and obviously you can just. It's really annoying when he's in Ghost form, right? I just feel like it's like an insult that he just follows you around, slows you. It's like, leave me alone.
The red team are going to be trying to get the bot tower again, as like I mentioned before, controlling the bot tower is very important. But the Will Q is gusted away, so is Hansen, so is Rutsu. But oh, the ultimate from Zul is just enough to pressure Deathwing. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Deathlike taking it. Oh, as Mal'Ganis gets the ultimate off, Blessed Shield. Unfortunately, just a little bit too late, interrupting a Gold Rider caught out in the Entombment. Ancestral comes out, and it's good. And he's healed up to full. What can they do with this? So the blue team falling quite low here, trying to retreat. Deathwing just go back in. Doesn't have Billowing Roar though, taking again a lot of damage.
But he does manage to get away. However, the Will Q does not. Mal'Ganis gets shredded by the amazing roots placed by Malfurion. And oops, my accidental Irish accent came out when I said Jesus.
Can you say it's accidental if you're Irish?
I'm a professional caster. Let's not dwell on that. Anywho, now the objective is spawning again in the middle with Mal'Ganis dead. This is going to be a free channel for the blue team and possibly some Zapper camps escorted in the bot lane as well.
Yeah, obviously. This late game, this is where you sort of put them into checkmate, isn't it? But at the moment, Death Knight just sort of keeping them there. So someone's got to stay bot lane to defend the sappers. They've got to give the tribute, and Vala took the other sapper camp as well for free. So they're going to have 3 more sappers coming in shortly, pushing in here.
The big gank in top lane with Dino and Ultralisk ganking Ruzu, but he might just get away. Oh no! Yes, maybe? Question mark.
Oh, the Q from Falstad just missing there. Rinso caught an island here between an Ultralisk and a Dino. What do you do? Pops the ultimate though, trying to get the Falstad, but unfortunately the ultimate doesn't go there. Bot lane though, the Will Q trying to retreat, taking again a lot of damage from Vala. This Manticore coming online now, obviously with 16, and you can just clearly see with that damage output chunking them down.
Oh, Blessed Shield on the Rhaegar guarantees that kill as Shelvin bursts him down. Oof, that was rough. That was rough.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
All right, so level 17 for the blue team, level 15, they're about to get 16. With the next objectives coming up, it's going to be 3, 2 on top, 1 in the middle. This is a good opportunity for the red team to come back on even talents with all their ultimates up, hopefully, with Zul's ultimate up as well, and make some sort of comeback, unless they're about to lose the mid tower, which means they're going to get their core shredded.
Yeah, they need to make something happen here. They need to force bot lane or defend mid. And it looks like they're going to try and force bot lane here. As Ultralisk comes down though, looking for that Gus play. Gus submits the wall as Deathwing comes down there with a Cataclysm here. Goes on top of it, Ultralisk falling low with the arrow, and it's good. The Tranquility not enough here. And Death Knight trying to slowly retreat here.
The Will Q is still zoning with the Deathwing in the background because they need to get this tower to stop their core from being shredded. However, the objectives are both up. Vala gets feared. Are the red team looking for a few more kills? Gore is in such a rough position, but he does get an Ancestor off, and Shelva now is in a place he does not want to be, and that is in a Zul route, and gets bursted down, followed by X-Ray.
X-Ray's going to fall down as well. Death Knight, the only remaining member here, but he looks like he's going to get burst down. That was going to be a 5-man team wipe for ZENON.
This was the perfect comeback that I was talking about, that after they gained 16, they were able to get the towers back, they were able to get all the objectives, and now they're even getting control of the bot tower. This is a perfect comeback by the red team. Well done.
Yeah, it's the start of a comeback. Obviously, they are only getting 3 shots through when they fire, but capture all 3 of them, that's going to be 9 shots in total. So it does put them, it is going to be back to 24 against 16. So definitely not out of it yet.
Oh, definitely.
But they do need to take back their altars. Obviously, they're probably going to have to give bot, perhaps, or can they defend it in time, do you think? I think they give bot and just clear their own altars at this point.
It seems like they just want to get control of the map, even out the map is basically what they're trying to do here. They're trying to get all their towers back, and they're willing to trade the bottom just so that they have a bit more red on the map, basically. The red team are also getting their bottom camp, which is going to be pressuring the bot lane afterwards as well. So, you know, this is good. This is good. And the red team are also going to get level 20 before the blue team, so we could see a possible forced engage here as well.
Yeah, obviously, as we look at the level 20 talents here, Zul with the ultimate upgrade, he now heals for 50% of the damage, and its duration is increased by 50%. So in their sort of choke fights, it's going to be really big. Because obviously we get the gust plays from Falstad, gusting them into a tight corner, and Zul pops the ultimate as they try and engage. Oof, it could be a big one for Zul.
Oh, there we see a force engage, a big Hanzo arrow on X-Ray. Oh no, the Malfurion again is stuck in that route that he just doesn't want to be in. Death Knight is trying to get away with the Johanna, but are they going to get more kills? Question mark. Oh, big gust.
Wind tunnel coming out here. Morgana's does get his ultimate off though, and obviously level 20 is going to sleep them all. Kelvin's quite low here. Does get the sleep. Morgana's going in, trying to get the kill, and Vala goes down as the Bellowing Roar comes out as well. And Death Knight caught between 4 red players here. You don't want to be there. Indestructible pop though, Dino falls, Death Knight still gonna fall, and falls.
Wow.
Red
that
team.
looked so back and forth. I was going to say that Entomb was huge, but they were just not able to get much value out of it because the Zul was not entombed, and he popped his ultimate and he just shredded everyone with that poison. Zul bounced hero, by the way.
So the map was blue a moment ago, and now it's mapped in very, very red shortly, as they are going to try and take mid from a forced top as well. And obviously they could start the barrage themselves here.
Yes, they're getting more towers, and they're going to start channeling those 2 objectives. They'll have boss open as well, but the boss doesn't do a whole lot. It only gives them guaranteed 4 shots, but they decide to do it anyway. The red team are in complete control of the map at the moment, but like I said, this is a map of comebacks. So in the other direction, the blue team has a perfect opportunity to come back from this as well. Yeah,
absolutely. But these shots, that's going to be 6, it's going to be 4. It's going to put their core down to 8. Quick maths. Yeah.
Oh, 8. Good job. Very nice math there.
So we do see them take down the fort top lane, but it is defended bot lane for the blue team. And now this is where you just play ring around the rosies here. As the red team's just going to start taking bot camp, take back the bot altar, blue team taking mid, and they're probably going to go top, or are they going to go bottom and just try and force this out now?
It seems like they are going to force a bottom fight here, the red team anyway. The blue team, a great opportunity to make some playmaking potential with the big gust and a big entomb. We see Rudzu on the side, the zappers are pushed in. Dino tries to get a silence entomb on a Hansel, but he manages to get away. Oof, big oof right there.
Yeah, biggest good heads up play there from Gore Rider. Just slowly, just
you
barely
even saw
getting
the silence. Did you see the silence label on Hanzo?
Yeah.
It actually was just about to go off in him.
But he managed just to walk out there. But yeah, that's the good thing is Entomb is only a 60-second cooldown, so it's going to be back up in 25 seconds. So for the next engage, perhaps they should be able to have it up. Falstad and Leoric top though, so the red team sees this. You have sappers coming in as well, but the wave's going to come in as well, but they just want to take this before the wave even gets there.
This is a very good position for the red team. They are going to be able to anchor here in the top bushes now as well. Where you see Mal'Ganis now, that was perfect positioning there. They have a choice. They have to defend the Zapper, or they have to contest both objectives. I would have said, leave the Zappers, contest both objectives, but they decide not to do that.
Well, they've saved the sappers. Now what they're going to do, Deathwing channeling bot lane. There isn't going to be an interrupt there. So they're going to have to force over this mid altar here. The wind tunnel comes out here. Dino goes in. Oh, big blessed shield, and Hanzo gets deleted here. Dino gets a 3-man silence in tomb here. Tyler falls low, but the Ancestral's good, and Storm Shield coming out as well. Billowing Roar comes out onto Death Knight. But
He still has his ultimate, and he does pop, and he gets huge damage on Shelvin and X-Ray. Oh my goodness, that ultimate might have just saved the red team the game, because they are forcing the blue team just a little bit back. The Will Q is trying to get into the backline with his Qs. He's going to try to put X-Ray to sleep, instead pops his ultimate. Johanna trying to get away, but she does have the Undying Shield.
yeah, as the Wilkie ultimate sleeps them all away, but he's falling really low in the backline. 400 health, 300 health, cleanse comes out, and it's not enough. And Dilla's going to pay for that as well. And now Zul, you're caught between 3 blue players. That's not a place you want to be. And the blue team turn the team fight.
Another comeback.
Yeah, this map's been very back and forth. Obviously, they do only have 3 shots on their core, but this map was once blue. It was red. Is it going to be blue again?
Changing sides every time. I was going to make a political joke, but I held myself back. Anywho, we see Falstad pushing the top lane now, and the blue team has gotten the mid lane as well, and they're obviously going to start controlling bot lane. There is a big NA arrow there by Go Rider. Does not hit Falstad, and he gets away and gets probably the camp here as well. So the red team do have a chance to come back here. This is not the end. This is not a GG moment. The red team are going to come back. They're going to defend. They're going to get towers back. That's their plan.
Yeah, obviously the Alta bot lane being at low health is actually kind of clever here, because the wave itself is just going to clear this up, and it gives them a lot of space. They can just take these sapper camps, and they will have a path to retreat in as well. So they don't have to waste time clearing that. And they do take middle and bot. Top lane, Falstad just pressuring it. Obviously, it does have that global available to fly down if necessary.
Boss up in 1 minute. If there is a... Chances are the cores are going to be very low, where there is going to be a boss playmaking potential as well.
Yeah, obviously boss is an issue for Team Xenon here. Alta spawning in 30 seconds, boss spawning in 45 seconds. That's fortunate, because if the boss was up at the same time as this Alta, then obviously you're caught between a rock and a hard place, and you've got to decide which one you go for.
The blue team are trying to escort these last 2 zappers, but I don't think these zappers are getting through. With Hanzo and Zul shredding them to pieces. I wonder if the red team will even contest. They can absolutely give this up if they wish.
But they say no. They're contesting this as they go around for a big boy flank here. Deathwing landing. I know. Just try to pressure Wilkie. Wilkie stunned. Doesn't get his ultimate off. It's interrupted by the Johanna Condemn. Needs to be glowing the big silencing tomb into the wind tunnel as well. Ancestral comes out, but this is a 4v5 now.
But Shelvin is being shredded by Tyler. The dog is getting so much value.
Soul damage though.
Did so much damage. Even Death Knight has to pop his level 20 trait. This is such an even fight with 4v4. Oh my goodness, what a reverse. Oh my days.
Yeah. Ultralisk trying to get the kill onto Deathwing. It doesn't though. And Deathwing's gonna, and Falstad's gonna fall here. And that's gonna be GG. Going over to Hooye Polucky.
Very well played. What a comeback.
Yeah, good game. Look forward to map number 2.
What a game to start off this lower bracket final. I thought it was for sure going over to the blue team in the early half of that game, and then red team pulled it back. I mean, what more can you say about the game that it was back and forth?
I think what we've all learned is to appreciate level 20 Poison Nova on Zul. I've never seen it before, and the damage that can do late game was crazy. It was crazy. It was a very back and forth game, which is just what you want for a lower bracket final.
Yeah, this Mythic Championship is showing that these teams really are proving themselves to be some of the best teams playing Heroes of the Storm here. You know, obviously this is our top Division 1, of our top division of our amateur tournament. and they're all playing so well. I think the many people calling out it was a bold draft, letting Deathwing and Zul through, but they showed that that really wasn't the main problem there. I mean, Zul did obviously a lot of damage in that last game, but I think they obviously had a strategy around that.
No, they're especially like you could tell from they were playing. They were trying to obviously isolate somebody with a gust, especially even more so level 20 with the wind tunnel, and then get the silence and tomb on the target that wasn't obviously gusted away, and try and find a pick there. And it did work sometimes, and it was what made the game so back and forth.
Yeah, Hooye Polucky just pulling out that win just. In the nick of that time, just fighting 4v5 when you've actually got quite a lot of core health. Is that sort of risk sort of feels like quite a big thing to take, but it worked out. We will be going over to Battlefield of Eternity as the next map, which is a bit of a different map, much more known as sort of an early game map. Would you? Although it does depend. Would you say that, Galaxy?
Yeah, Battlefield of Eternity, it's one of those maps that are very snowball heavy. If you win the first objective, you get a few kills, you keep that level lead up, you get level 10, the enemy team are generally sat at about level 8/level 9, and then you get the second objective for free and you just snowball from there. Which obviously ZENON has showed that they are capable of doing. I expect a Garrosh or a Zarya ban pretty quickly on this map from what I've seen today. So
yeah. It was, of course, ZENON went for the first pick rather than the map pick. So this was a pick from Hooye Polucky, which is one of their sort of favorite maps. They've played this the most in Lounge as it is. But you're absolutely right, that Garrosh Zarya combo that seems to be coming up. Will ZENON respect the Deathwing and the Zul a bit more here? Or, I mean, Zul on BOE probably not really an issue.
I think both heroes are not really the biggest of concern. Deathwing on this map seems to fall off a bit, just like Zul. Obviously, Zul is much more of a macro rotation heavy hero. And once, as you saw in the last game, a late game team fight, which obviously Battlefield of Eternity doesn't really have. So I'd expect Deathwing and Zul not to be prioritized too much.
Right, and here we are into the draft of game number 2 of this lower bracket final. Hooye Polucky 1-0 ahead. ZENON need to win both maps now to try and get their way into the grand final of the Mythic Championship. We're just waiting on our first ban here from Team ZENON. Yeah, obviously we saw a lot of prioritization from Hooye Polucky on the tanks last game, but Li Ming banned out once again.
It's an interesting first ban. You could also go with the Ana first ban instead, but maybe ZENON are trying to do something with the Ana, maybe like an Ana Jaina for another burst combo. But respecting the enemy team's players, with the Li Ming, the Zarya, the Sylvanas ban we saw last game, rather,
Yeah, going for that respect ban over sort of a traditional meta. The Garrosh ban once again, as you sort of were saying, the Zarya Garrosh and Garrosh's immense control on Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was just about to say, I think people are starting to get a bit annoyed with the Garrosh and its power, and obviously followed up by the ETC ban, which we did have last game as well. So both teams respecting each other's tanks.
Yeah, is that sort of a priority on Johanna is sort of fairly prevalent throughout the meta these days. Even on BOE, is that something they're going to be considering?
Normally on this map, you kind of want a tank with a bit more of a playmaking, ability. So your Tyraels, your Garrosh, your ETC, but obviously 2 of those have been banned out. So I expect maybe a Johanna, but not a heavy prioritization. With the Jimmy first pick, we should be looking at maybe like a Vala pickup or a Greymane pickup in a response, just so that both teams have a mortal race.
Yeah, that new Exterminator buff on Jim Raynor put him right at the top of the mortal pressure. And we see a Hanzo picked out as is that sort of the race hero, would you say, for Hooye Polucky?
In my opinion, I prefer maybe more a Vala, but the Hanzo last game certainly had a good effect. So if he's confident on that hero, why not pick it again?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things sometimes. do you ever find the way sort of playing in a match when you've just played one hero in the last game, you think, well, I'll just play it again in the next match. I'm feeling comfortable, feeling good.
Yeah, sometimes you've just been playing a hero, whether in scrims or in houses, and you feel good about it, and you just say to your team, "This is what I want to pick. Just trust me in it, and I'll win the game for you," which is good.
Yeah, we do see that Anna picked up that crucial sort of pick that's so powerful, but with no mage yet. So are you suspecting it's going to be a Jaina then in this last 2 picks?
Maybe a Jaina. Sylvanas works very well with a Nana boost as well, but there'll be some kind of target, I assume, because Eye of Horus isn't, picked normally, or it's not in favor.
Certainly not. You don't want to be standing still too much in Heroes of the Storm. Malfurion banned out as well by ZENON. Of course, if you want to bet on some teams, if you think one of these drafts look good so far, you can put bet A in the chat if you want to bet for ZENON, or bet B for Hooye Polucky. We've seen the Blaze picked up here as the offlaner already, quite early, before the last pick. Do you think they've got something hidden for that last pick?
I feel like Blaze is a good pick. It's also a good counter pick because obviously Dinu has been enjoying Blaze a lot. So it not only takes it away from the enemy team, but also a bunker can win a team fight, especially against heavy burst blow-up comps.
Yeah, this isn't sort of signaling some sort of secret thing. It's just something to shield away from that nano boost target potentially.
Yeah, and ZENON also has the double sleep combo, so the Mal'Ganis sleep, Ana sleep, and as we've seen, Alarak burst and Dino on his Zeratul, famous for it.
Dino Zeratul. I mean, so far you've got that Hanzo as a very squishy target that I'm sure Dino's eyeing up. Ultralisk is pretty well known for the Alarak as well, if I'm correct. Played it quite a few times. It's a scary thing to see on this map.
They've definitely got everything they need to. Jimmy obviously is the immortal race, Alarak is the burst, and Zeratul is the fear. But once again, the return pickup with the Sylvanas. Gore Rider's played it a lot today. Both drafts are looking pretty promising.
Yeah. I mean, which way would you favor if you had to? I mean, I know it's a hard decision.
If Wilkew's team can get ahead early with the Sylvanas and obviously snowball it, then fantastic. But I think late game and as the game goes on, ZENON definitely look like the better team in terms of drafts.
Yeah, it's I mean, Dino's Zeratul, it's infamous for being played sort of once or twice in a tournament and then just being perma-banned out pretty much. So how they're going to deal with that is going to be an interesting thing to see. I think, as you say, the race on the immortal Jim Raynor has been proven to be putting out a lot of damage in these recent days.
I'm still not sure why they buffed him, to be honest. There we go. Blizzard do Blizzard.
At least they nerfed Ace in the hole. But we will pass you over to our wonderful casters of Aviator and Aaron. We'll give you this match on Battlefield Return.
Welcome back. Game number 2 here between ZENON and Hooye Polucky. But let's introduce the teams. On the left side for ZENON, we have Mal'Ganis, played by Death Knight, Alarak by Ultralisk, Ana, played by X-Ray, Zeratul by Dino, and Raynor by Kelvin.
And on the right-hand side, the red team, we have Hooye Polucky. We have the Wilkew on Johanna, Basser again on the amazing hands. Go Rider on Sylvanas, Dialer on Rhaegar, and Raizu on Blaze.
Absolutely. And we look at talents quickly and we see so Cube, we do see Exterminator from Jimmy. Obviously, it should be the pick on this map as well. But I've seen that being picked on most maps nowadays. Obviously, Ace in the Hole kind of got nerfed recently, and so people tend to go for Exterminator nowadays on any map.
Yes, and we do see Q build going from Dino, so I don't think it's going to be a committed Zeratul Q build. It's only going to be Q on 1 and 16. In my opinion.
Yeah, I think I've seen him favour that in Storm League recently, where he tends to go Q, then as you say, Sonic Strength,
the standard
Seeker, yeah, and then knows him. A lot of people tend to go for that Q. Oh, but we just see a pull, and Hanzo almost falling there, but gets the jump just before the Silence connects.
Yes. Okay, we have to mention the fact that we are on BOE, and Hooye Polucky did not respect ban the Alarak for Ultralisk. Can I just mention that?
Yeah, and we do see E-build from that Alarak coming out here. So definitely strong in a 4-man setup as well. Particularly on this map, as you say. Alarak on BOE. 1, you're against Ultralisk and you don't ban it. 2, it's so oppressive to play into, especially around that Immortal. We see a big boy sleep from Death Knight though, zoning all 4 players out. So we see a heavy commitment as Blaze rotated down for that.
I did think that they were going to engage on that big 4-man sleep there, but I guess they didn't have their buttons up, so they weren't able to do much with it.
No, absolutely, and just a sleep zoned out completely there.
Do you see Alarak rotating top lane, by the way, which means that the blue team is able to take the top camp while there was pressure in the bot lane. This is very, very well played from a macro
SYLVANAS though,
SYLVANAS is responding.
yeah, sniffing it out. Goes top. Blaze goes in for a stun here. Dino, obviously, early game into that Zeratul is not really where you want to be. They may have to give this up here. And yeah, they opt wisely to do that. Anna comes up though, but Hanzo rotates as well. So we just see Scorerider just trying to chunk down that Dino.
Both Alarak and Zeratul are considered quite late game heroes, especially big sleep here on the Rhaegar there, but Rutsu was ready to respond with a stun here, so Dalu does get away safely. The doggy does not be in trouble today.
No, absolutely. Good attempt though. And we see, I don't know if you noticed there, the Morgana sleep, and then Anna waited, and then immediately followed up with a sleep as well.
That's
so that double sleep combo is just going to be, so rough for the Wolf.
Team play, sleeps are so toxic because your team don't actually wake them up, unless you're in Storm League, because then everyone just
I know.
Standard play.
It's always the pet. You land a big boy sleep, and then there's like a random Jimmy walking by that just auto attacks them. You just think, why?
It's usually not even an A hero. It's like a Brightwing or a Ming or someone like who doesn't even need to right click. Anyways, that's a different story. We do see both teams just racing down. We're going to see who has the better race, and it does seem that the blue team is shredding it just a little bit faster.
Yeah, the red team were a little bit late to start that though, so I think maybe as it goes on, I think Hans obviously picking up the serrated arrows at level 4, but obviously Jimmy Rayner with that exterminator is going to chunk it down. So we see a little bit of a defense and race at the same time here for the red team. Just trying to say, Jimmy getting caught out there though. Big boy stun again into the Immortal again, and SYLVANAS meanwhile fell though to the Alarak. But the Immortal, Immortal landing 2 stuns onto the Jimmy. Unlucky. Blaze goes back in.
Tough spot, but big sleep there. Blaze could be in a rough spot here, especially with the Morgana sleep here. Negative healing. Rutsu does go down to Dino, and Morgana shredding him to pieces. However, the Immortal goes to the red side. However, this is also a possible free defense for the blue team, as Jimmy is coming back with his level 1 talent to shred it.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect this to get more than sort of a tower, if that actually at this rate. As Jimmy comes down, immediately you can see just the shredding ability that they have on that Immortal. But Jimmy's definitely going to have to play around a little bit more carefully next time under that Immortal. Usually that only happens to you once per game, right? that's your free int. It's not going to happen again.
Death Knight doing a very good job on Morgana's by zoning and putting Wilq to sleep. Blaze is in the bottom lane while Zeratul is getting free passive soak, and the blue team has not died, has not inted, so this is a really good trade. However, the red team opt for taking the camp here, which could be possibly a big push with the SYLVANAS trait.
Yeah, they are going to lose a little bit of experience this. It's Death Knight. They don't want to give up this camp for free. As Death Knight goes in for a sleep. The Wilq tries to turn around but gets knocked back by Jimmy. And Blaze obviously having to rotate top because they did lose a full wave, I believe, there of soak.
Ooh, Death Knight is stuck in a place that he does not want to be in, and the sleep there by Anna was just not enough to save him, unfortunately.
2 kills apiece, level 8 to 8. Yeah,
I just realized, the mercenaries were kind of big and buffy looking. I didn't even realize.
I think it still procs on the Immortal as well, by the way, which is why you probably pick it. So I think it does extra damage to the Immortal, even though it doesn't say monsters. I believe it does still proc extra damage on the Immortal.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah. Is that a bug, do you think?
I don't know. It's been like that since her rework. So I figured they'd address it at some point, right? But anyway, as we do see, full commitment to the sleep build from Anna as well. And obviously there is the Dino Zeratul build as well with that Sonic Strength and Seeker on 7. So he does get that engaged now. Gorida trying to eat in aggressively here as Dino just gets that blink away.
Dino's going to be able to pretty much dodge all their abilities, because Blaze stun is very predictive, and so is Johanna's stun. So mechanically, Dino should be able to dodge it with Zeratul links.
Oh, interrupting Blaze's charge there, actually. So Blaze has no charge available, but they just want to zone them out and commit to this Immortal. But the race favouring the blue team here is stun goes in. Oh, Alarak coming out with that combo. Hanzo gets the cleanse and jumps away to safety. Alarak still chasing him down, though.
Very big combo there by Ultralisk. This is why you don't let Alarak through on BOE. And then Ultralisk on top of that.
Yeah, I think if there's a team with a proficient player, then you definitely don't want to let it through on this map in particular.
Mal'Ganis in a tough spot. Rutsu does miss the stun and gets countered, sleeped and stunned there in the back. However, he is still full HP because he's standing in his fire and heating himself up.
Both teams sort of engaging, counter-engaging. It's pretty good at the moment here. Oh, we see the benefit of Alarak as he pulls him into the boss stun there. Dino trying to going ham there onto the Blaze. Sleep interrupting it. Can Dino secure the kill? 400 health. But it's actually SYLVANAS that goes down by the Jimmy damage.
That Death Knight. Oh, Death Knight sleep there on the 4-man was perfect, and they were able to finish everyone off with the Alarak E. And Dino, of course, on Zeratul, jumping around and being a menace. That was well played.
Not banning Dino Zeratul. He didn't pick it in map number 1, but you let it through 2 maps in a row, and Dino says, "Do you know what? I'm picking this bad boy," and is just wrecking at the wrecking. English is hard sometimes. Oh my god.
It's okay. I don't judge. Anywho, the objective is going to the blue team. This is a very good opportunity for the blue team to do some setup. Why? Because of Alarak. Alarak can now push people into the boss stun, which is extremely long stun. It's 1.5 seconds if I'm not wrong.
You will say yes. Yeah, we'll go with that. Oh, we see the pings coming out onto the Hanzo.
Big charge there by the Ultralisk. Oh.
Yeah. Dino going in, just trying to harass. Obviously, not really do much more than that. Just annoy. But this is a 5-man commitment bot lane.
It is
Death
a 5-man
Knight sniffing out the flank there.
Wall here. Rutsu there in the flank, making sure that Dino doesn't do anything behind the wall that's too suspicious. But there's a big stun there on the Johanna and a perfect cleanse by Dyler to save her. However, Wilku could be looking for a stun here. There goes a big Blessed Shield and a Hanzo Arrow follow-up. Anna is using her ultimate to save her team, but it wasn't enough to save him. Big bunker there by Blaze. SYLVANAS gets in, but X-Ray needs to get out.
But you can't, unfortunately. Now this is the time where you want to save. You want to save Alarak. It doesn't have that much sadism, so it's okay to fall. Obviously, not opting for that sort of show of oh, what is it? The W ones, level 1.
Yes. He's going classical E-build. This was the standard E-build on Alarak, and the reason why this build is so good is that even if you lose your sadism, you still can do a lot of damage, especially after 16. So it's a very good talent still to take, a very good build to take.
Yeah, but with the SYLVANAS trait now, and still people dead on the side for Xenon, they are sieging down this bot lane, taking down that front wall, retreat, take the camp, and then push in. 5 kills apiece, level 12 to 12. Structures obviously favouring Team Xenon at the moment, but this game very even again, similar to the first one.
It is a very close game. This is really high quality close games, and I'm lucky to be casting these. Mal'Ganis is scouting a little bit. There was a Blaze anchoring there in the bush. This is why Blaze is such a good offlaner. He's basically a tank. Look at this. He is not going to die to anything like that in the bush, and Death Knight is forced to queue himself out.
Blaze is a tank, you say? Well, funny. Our previous host has something to say about that. Perhaps he can say that just after this map again.
Fight me. Anyways, we do see Dino anchoring seductively there, sitting on his Chihuahua and absolutely not moving and not revealing himself, giving plenty of vision to his team.
Obviously, when you're invisible, standing still for, is it 3 seconds? You become perma-invisible and you can't be seen.
Unless you bump into them.
Yes. Oh, Gore Rider just playing around with his E. Obviously taking that win run at level 13, getting the double E reset. And then we see the Alarak again pushing them into the Immortal Stun. Sleep Dart comes out. Mal'Ganis goes in on top of Unstoppable, being popped by both heroes there. Blaze and Johanna popping their self-unstoppables.
That was a very big setup there by Ultralist, but unfortunately it was on the beefiest of heroes, so they couldn't burst them down as easily as they would have if it was a backliner. Anyways, this is pretty much a race battle here now, but the red team is deciding to defend instead of race. Big sleep by Death Knight to make sure that the Johanna isn't going to do much. Oh! Big setup, but she does pop her D, and the ultimate from Rhaegar gets off. Big Hanzo Arrow to stun the Mal'Ganis. Oh!
Oh, Bless Shield just whiffing there. Mal'Ganis gets the ultimate off Blaze Pop's bunker here. They want to go in. Zeratul falling extremely low, but blinking around, duking, diving. Gosh, it's like watching dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dive, dodge. As he goes around here, as the red team retreats to take their immortal here. It looks like the immortal is going to go over to the red team.
Oh, big ultimate by Ultralist to kill Will Q, and Johanna gets bursted down. Imagine being a tank like Johanna and still dying. Rip.
Oh, Zeratul getting the blink there, the blaze stun, but it's not enough, and this is why Dino Zeratul gets panned out quite often. They don't care about the immortal here. They're posturing to end the game. They got 2 kills, 15 seconds in. They get the pull onto Blaze, Sleep Dart as well, and Zeratul. Oof. You fiend, absolutely destroying the Blaze there.
This is still quite an early core call, so the red team do have an opportunity to completely win this if they get a couple of kills, especially on the backlining DPS. Shelvin specifically.
Yeah, the question is this clownable? But 14%, 10%, and that's going to be GG going over to ZENON. Evening up the score, we got a map 3 on our hands. We'll see you after the map.
And there we go. What a game number 2 there.
Oh, it was a good core call. I was kind of like, well, can they do it? But their core DPS was actually pretty good indeed. And once again, you know, Dino Zeratul, shows why we ban it.
Yeah, juking and jiving all over the place to get a couple of kills that just paid off and just able to end the game because the minions were there. Even with the Immortal going over to Hooye Polucky, it's now all evened up to 1-1 in this best of 3 series here.
Yeah, it was a really good game. As I say, they took control. Ultralist Alarak deserves a lot of respect as well for his little W's into the boss stuns. It was good play.
Yeah, so much control here from ZENON. I think that's, you know, you see why these picks are respected. The Alarak and the Zeratul. Do you think they're going to be let through in the next draft?
I probably Zeratul no. But Alarak, it depends on the map. Like Alarak is a bit more map specific. Like if we go to Cursed Hollow or a more open map, Alarak probably won't be seen or picked.
Right. Yeah. So Volscar and Tomb are already banned out. So you know, those sort of smaller maps, definitely, you know, not going to probably be seen then if we go into a bigger one. It's amazing to see how quickly the game turns, because I wasn't expecting that game to end for another, you know, 2 or 3 minutes, if I'm honest.
No, it was good. As I say, the Mal'Ganis, where Mal'Ganis dodged the Blessed Shield, or the Alarak W to knock Johanna back to miss the Blessed Shield, was basically the big moment in that kind of last team fight. And then they regrouped. Dani picked off Hanzo, yeah, and they got the 2 kills and then did a good core call. It was good. Well played.
Yeah, they've got, you know, they've brought this back. It's back down to 1 map as we, you know, looking in this lower bracket final, going on towards the grand final to go against Hype Pew Pew. You know, that obviously Hooye Polucky have got to replay them, and ZENON, you know, have yet to see them yet in this finals day. What sort of map would you want to, you know, do you take first pick or a map pick at this stage?
I think first pick. Yeah, you take first pick. You try to control the draft. Obviously, the enemy team might have a draft in mind for the map they choose. But first pick, you can just lock in what you want, whether it's the Ana, you know, whether it's the Li Ming, whatever you can get a hold of, and you go from there. As I say, I wouldn't mind to see like a big open map like Cursed Hollow to see more of the macro again. Hype Pew Pew, you know, did a really good job with that on Cursed Hollow with their Butcher pick that we saw earlier. Hoping to see that again later. But these 3 teams are all very good at both macro and team fights, so it'd be good to see.
Yeah, it's hard to put sort of any of them at fault when, you know, this is such a cream of the crop. You know, obviously we've had the Division S finals a few weeks back, but here in the Mythic Championship, it's still some of those players are still playing in this amateur league here, and they're all still performing so incredibly well.
As I say, like Dinu, Death Knight obviously was in Div S last season. I think he subbed a few times this season, but every team, every player, I believe, that is left in the Div 1 playoffs are all Div S players, and you know, it's good to see them coming into the amateur scene as well. It helps out too.
Yeah, we're always happy to see them here. You know, Division 1 does have this sort of beautiful thing of, you know, these players do really try hard still. You know, I know certainly that, you know, they, as you say, you know, these in-houses where people are just playing and getting the hero picks they want, like that Murky from Swamp God earlier. You know, these heroes that just are a good bit of fun in Heroes of the Storm. You know, we've had the Dino stats here on Storm. He's playing the Valor, Tracer, and Zeratul. Also mobile heroes that we see, you know, these amazing carries, and it's wonderful to watch. I mean, the Zeratul was phenomenal. Do you think the Tracer might pop out later, or is that something that's, you know, only reserved for some special occasions?
I'd love to see the Tracer. I know Will Q enjoys to draft a variant to counteract that, though. So it depends, because when you want a Tracer, you generally want the Malfurion to obviously help empower the Tracer, and then the enemy team can lock in a variant, for instance, because of the no cleanse. So they could be. It depends. But Dinu showed for his team in Div S, you know, if you give him the hero, he'll make the plays and win the game.
Absolutely, and we will be going to Cursed Hollow, I think.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, so they're predicting that big macro play. I mean, obviously the Butcher was a bit of a special earlier from Blank, but you know, let's hope for some more unique picks. Absolutely.
Ultralisk has played the Falstad already today, so you know, more global. You know, I'm a player who really does enjoy the global aspect of this game. So the Falstads are the hackers. I think Brightwing would be pushing it a little too much, so we're not going to say Brightwing. Falstads to hackers, maybe even the Deathwing again to delay the objective and the channels.
Yeah. Is it warranted to have the Deathwing ban this time, as it was sort of, you know, it didn't cost them the game obviously in game 1, but it was it proved as an additional stalling tactic on some of those shrines?
I think there's an argument definitely for it. You know, both teams have shown they can play it, but whether it be in the highest priority, I'm not too sure. Like, I would probably say it would be more of a third ban, because ZENON seemed very happy to go into the Deathwing on Towers of Doom with you know, good success as well. And Will Q's team, you know, same. They've picked Deathwing up and they struggled a little bit in the early game, but Cursed Hollow can be a late game map. It can be a map that ends in 8 minutes. It depends how the first few minutes of the game go.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you sort of have those strategies that perhaps were more a high pew pew special of the Hammer, the Butcher, something that pushes in one lane. But yeah, it's such a staple of Heroes of the Storm that's been around for so long. Seeing some of the great matches that have gone on here. That wide 3-lane chasm, that, you know, we do get some really good matches.
It'd be it will probably be most likely be banned out, but it'd be nice to see some Abathur or some kind of heavy grey main Tyrael Abathur comp, hyper aggressive push. But I expect Abathur to probably be banned at this level, so in one of the first 2 slots.
We did see the Vikings banned out against Hooye Polucky. I mean, is there some?
We did actually. It was a first ban, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. I mean, is that you know from the inside? I mean, we're going into the draft right now, I believe.
I think normally when you first ban the Vikings, you're basically saying to the enemy team, if you don't ban Abathur, we're going to take it. So it kind of just makes the enemy team go, we most likely have to ban Abathur just in case, you know. It's more of the mental game, I believe, in that aspect.
Yep, Hooye Polucky obviously have got first pick here on Cursed Hollow. Now they're taking a lot of time again, maybe thinking that Zeratul was such a pain. Sort of, those pickoffs at the end cost us the game. Do we need to first ban it right now and just sort of get it out of the way?
If I was going to ban it, I would say I'd ban it in the second rotation. If there's something you're really concerned about, like the Abba for the Deathwing, for instance, because you can ban Zeratul in the second. Well, I was going to say ban it in the second, but they're not happy with it. They ban it in the first rotation. That's fine as well.
Yeah, Dino's it's just so well known for it, and we see it here. Banned outs. They obviously thought about it. They were obviously perhaps going through the same sort of mental, talking about it a lot, obviously between the games as well. Do we need to ban it? And maybe they're preparing what else they've got. The Lost Vikings again.
It's banned again. It's banned again. Maybe this is the Abba for mind plays, but they banned Zarya. Had enough of that too with the Garrus Zarya, as we've talked about several times in this series.
Now, does this mean if Hooye Polucky get the opportunity to get Abathur in the first half of the draft, do you think they'll take it?
I think ZENON would more likely take it. I think it suits ZENON a bit more with the more macro. But if the Wilq and his team take Abathur, I expect the Tyrael Greymane probably in response. Take the Greymane from the Abathur hat, and obviously the Tyrael just to heavy dive in with the Greymane. But Medivh first pick.
I mean, this is where you throw the handbook out with some of the sort of standard drafts on Cursed Hollow, and Medivh on Cursed Hollow is not usual, if I'm correct.
It can be, as I say, when you pick a Medivh, especially so high in the rotation, you need to make sure that you draft some wave clear, because Cursed Hollow is pretty crucial for that. But if you get a curse, obviously you can portal behind keeps, you can portal behind forts, and you can play very aggressive. And the Anubrak Junkrat to obviously put the traps on the portal, and Anubrak for the great CC chains that he can provide, and obviously the Cocoon too.
Yeah, I mean, Anubrak is suddenly shooting past Garrosh and Johanna here. Is that sort of because of the mobility you can get around these curse altars as well?
I've seen Dinu been playing this a lot recently, so I think this could be a little cheeky Dinu special if he ends up on being it. Which would be interesting, because he's been flexing off lane in DPS, but we will see.
Yeah, I mean, Death Knight's so well known for being a tank player, really. So, Anubrak, is that an off lane Anubrak then?
Oh, I don't think it'd be an off. I don't think we're being treated to that just yet.
It used to be quite special. I mean, the wave clear on Anubrak is not particularly great as an off laner.
No, I remember when he was in the meta about 7-8 months. It was probably a bit longer than that, when he was the main tank and he could do everything. But we're long gone there. The Abba ban finally. But Garrosh Medivh is also a very good, strong duo. Malfurion for the roots too, and Malfurion also to be taken away from the enemy team so that they can't root the portals, which is also a very big play. The Garrosh Lucio shows. Greymane Lucio rather shows that they want to play a very aggressive style. Anubrak dive, Greymane dive, Lucio to be the annoyance. Let's put it that way. Lucio annoyance.
We saw the success that Hype Pew Pew had with the Lucio as well, just being able to sort of shift onto some targets and maybe chasing down from these portals from Medivh. If you want to escape on a portal, we'll just keep running towards you and try and catch up with you. The Sonya and the Hanzo picked up. Sonya, nice little standard pick for that camp clear and getting the camps themselves. Yeah,
I'd expect that Hanzo W build to help provide damage for the boss. Full W, maybe Q on 1 or something like that, but definitely W on 4 for the boss race. But bar that, the composition is pretty solid. They've got good survivability, and we finish off with the last pick, Deathwing. Their damage on Deathwing isn't that great, so it could be a pretty good game for Deathwing.
Yeah, obviously no particular percentage damage, apart from obviously maybe some janky builds coming out from Sonya and some other heroes. But a solid last pick Deathwing for that global supremacy, perhaps. Medivh obviously well known for being a little bit helping out with the portals, but they've got Lucio and a global, so maybe they'll try and out-rotate the enemy team here. If you want to bet in the chat, obviously we've got bet A if you believe in ZENON can take this and go through to the grand final, or bet B for Hooye Polucky. Who would you be putting your points on right now, Galaxy?
I think the last pick of Deathwing has done it for me for ZENON, just because unless Sonya goes for the weird percentage damage on W or Hanzo really mixes up his draft. Then again, I think we have seen Hanzo play the auto attack build. If I'm not sure, I've seen an auto attack redemption Hanzo today.
And we'll have to wait and see what they do as we go over to Aviator and Era.
Welcome back, everybody. And yeah, map number 3, the deciding in this best of 3. Let's introduce the teams. In the blue side, for ZENON, hoping to make it to that grand final, we have Deathwing, played by Death Knight, Junkrat by Ultralisk, Greymane by Kelvin, Lucia by X-Ray, and Dino on that Anubrak.
And the red team, we have Hooye, Polucky. We have the Will Q on Garish, Basser not on the handsome Hanzo, he's on Medivh instead. Dialer on Malfurion, Rudzu on Sonya, and Go Rider now on the handsome Hanzo.
Yeah, and as I said, this is that deciding map in the best of 3 for the grand final, where you can win the highest quality of plastic trophy. So we look at talents quickly, and we see it's not Portal Mastery by Medivh, it is the Winds of Celerity. I see the Wilkie going in here, but Dino just eating out to safety.
Just to explain, Basser does play Medivh, and he doesn't go the usual level 1 talent, which really confuses a lot of people, but he also plays an extraordinary Medivh, so do take it with a grain of salt.
I was going to say I'm one of those people, but we'll see how the game plays out here. Let's see. Oh, bit of a pressure up top lane. You see Sonya into the Death Knight, and obviously Medivh coming up. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Death Knight is thick, right? That hitbox is so big, you just cannot miss it.
We have a few interesting talent choices. We have Malfurion going Rejuvenation on level 1. That is probably the least popular level 1 talent in high ranking play, if I'm not mistaken, out of all of them. We have Block on Sonya, which is pretty standard, Q Quest on Garish, and we have Tricky Shuffles on Junkrat. I want to comment on that, yet I have absolutely zero knowledge of Junkrat.
Yeah, obviously you don't tend to see that anymore. It's usually the sort of the build or the trap thing does extra damage.
Yeah.
But Hanzo taking the AA build, and we saw our special guest, see him in mid onto the Bruiser camp here. X-Ray being that nuisance that he is as Lucia, a little mosquito flying around, auto attacking you, booping you around. But the red team do secure the camp, and Junkrat Mine just appeal here. So saying the Hanzo going into redemption. We did have Galaxy mentioning this.
Mm-hmm.
We had Galaxy mention this as well. Into the Deathwing. I think at 16, do you still go piercing with this, or would you now go the Giant Killer equivalent on the Hanzo? Because he does have a Giant Killer thing where your Ws and your auto attacks do percentage damage to the heroes. So that could be quite strong into Deathwing.
Yeah, we see him taking serrated arrows as well, especially, but that's really good for boss take on this map. And as we know, Cursed Hollow really does revolve around those boss takes. Dino is anchoring the little bug in the middle lane there, but this mid camp needs to be cleared as Kelvin pops over and pops his W to clear that as fast as possible.
Yeah, camp clear for both teams. Obviously, at this level of play, right, you'd expect all the camps to be taken, all the camps to be timed extremely well, and that's what we've seen here so far. Interestingly, the red team not pressuring with the mid camp, or the blue team. As you see, X-Ray getting caught out there by the Lucio. You may be a mosquito, but Garrosh, if he lands that Q and throws you, you are still going to die.
He is very good at swatting that Garrosh, and he swatted that mosquito perfectly. Anubrak is in the back trying to be a nuisance, stopping Dialer from channeling there on the Malfurion. So they are buying time while Medivh is stuck clearing top lane because Medivh has amazing wave clear.
Yeah, Medivh, obviously the most effective wave clear hero that they've got. And we see Junkrat just being that super annoying thing it is. We see Death Knight landing here. Oh, the Anubrak going in, landing the double stun onto Dilla's Malfurion here. But Death Knight falling low on the Deathwing. Junkrat boop him away.
This is going to be very confusing.
Yeah, do we say Death White? I don't even know. no, we don't say that. We say Death Knight or Deathwing. There's the Medivh portal going in here. Onto the Anubrak. The Anubrak stunning the lockdown. Protector comes out. Protected by the way, but is it enough? And someone being booped here. Popped here. The root coming out onto Kelvin. Death Knight falling low. But he lives.
Big,
and
big
again, we just see We see Junkrat being that nuisance he is, but gets the boop onto Balsa. Can they do anything to this Medivh and reset his stacks?
This is a bit of back and forth between the two teams, but the Junkrat misses the Q and was not able to interrupt the channel. Very unlucky there. This is going to be an interesting game as blue team are quite, despite the fact that they have Deathwing, which is a very immobile hero, we'll say, they have Lucio and Junkrat, the power of Overwatch heroes. So we do expect some big plays late game, I think.
Yeah, and also top lane, there was that camp pushing. Medivh, with his wave clear, did have to leave it earlier on. So, unfortunately, wasn't able to clear it in time. Did have to rotate bot, and it did see it take almost the whole front wall there in the top lane. Obviously, this isn't the blue team's boss lane, but it is the red team's. So, the counter push or potential late game push with that boss could be crucial.
We see the red team in a very good position here to be able to channel it as on their side. But like we said again, Junkrat is a very good hero here because he can interrupt the channel over and over again. X-Ray, oof! He is stuck in a threesome there, but rolls himself by sliding on those walls. Dino did panic in a moment to save X-Ray, but everyone is out, everyone's Gucci, everyone's comfortable.
Yeah, we see Calvin just auto-attacking, keeping up his Eagle Wolf there in a beast, as it were.
Oh.
As we see Medivh going down to Deathwing solo in the top lane, and that's going to be RIP stacks. Ouch!
Whoops. That was probably a big whoops moment. However, I was going to say the red team is going to still get free channel of this, but now the big dragon is in the air, and he's going to be consistently interrupting them.
This is the most toxic thing that Deathwing can do. So on this map in particular, because the tribute gives you vision of the heroes, and you can just constantly interrupt it. It's so annoying. It's actually like sleeper broken, I think. As you see, the root coming out, landing onto 2 here. X-Ray pressing his traits to get away here. Portal comes out.
Dino's stuck in a really bad spot. He gets thrown into the backline, but he does have Unstoppable to get out, but just the pure damage shredded through his shield, and he wasn't able to get out. Gore Rider doing so much damage with his AA build Hanzo, which absolutely shreds tanks and front lines. And against a noob, who, let's be honest, is a bit of a weak tank, it's not a very nice thing for a bug to experience.
No, I think until Nubrak gets his level 1 quest completed, he's going to really struggle with that lack of health. The bug's going to be squashed. So we've got a mosquito and we've got a bug on the same team.
We've Garish to spot them with this cube. Alrighty, we have the red team now going to take the camp. Sonya starting the big bruiser camp, and Deathwing is getting a good push top. That's all the wall down, and to be honest, it's best to try and get the Phantom. However, the tribute is going to be on the blue side this time, which is a great opportunity for the blue team to finally get a tribute.
Yeah, and it's absolutely crucial that they get this. Obviously, they don't want to face an early curse into the red team here. If you get an early curse, you can tend to just try and snowball the game from that as well. So really crucial they get this camp timing there from Sonya. Perfect. So this camp is going to be pushing while they contest the tribute top.
Hanzo. Big stun by Dino there. Ultralex following up with all his damage, boops him into the back, and his A just connects easily.
Yeah, and that should be a free tribute for the blue team.
Now, here's the thing. Big boss plays are coming in. This is the moment where the teams can trade objectives with bosses. And we do expect some big boss plays. However, Medivh Leyline is so good for boss plays. But while I'm talking about boss plays, Dyler's getting engaged on heavily by Death Knight and Dino with a new Brack and Deathwing. And big throw by Will-Q to save that. Malfurion X-Ray is not going to let him get away. Boops the Will-Q back into the Death Knight. Big taunt. I don't think the Will-Q is going to die. He's just going to walk out of there like the Garish he is.
Death Knight says this is unacceptable, tries to go back in, takes the towers, but unfortunately has to pull that billowing wall to get away. But the portal coming out from Medivh here, they want to kill Death Knight now. They want him. Hanzo just chunking away, but someone tags the boss, unfortunately. Kiss bullet just missing there as Garish goes back in here. Protector comes out, by the way. The root lands. Deathwing goes back in with that Cataclysm, lands down, and Garish falls. Death Knight should fall though in the back line, and does as well. So it's going to be 1 kill apiece here for the teams.
Yes, big portal again there, possibly to re-engage on the half HP Ultralist, but they decide not to do a whole lot because Gore Rider is already going middle, and they're going bot because it's curse for the red team, which is very, very vital. They don't have Deathwing in the air to interrupt this channel.
Yeah, this is a pivotal moment in the game potentially, as they're not going to be able to get in time for an interrupt, so they have to cut their losses short and absorb the curse. So they're in a good place, okay? They're not a talent tier down. They are about half a level lead and experience down, but this is the thing about Medivh, right? You just see that pesky bird flying over your head, constantly providing vision for the red team. And there's the portal comes out. They want to contest this camp, but a little bit too late there with the decision making.
So the blue team is being forced to defend. Chances are they're going to lose a couple of forts, 1 or 2, but probably not all 3. The mid camp is going to relieve some pressure, but the red team is still committed to trying to get in this mid fort. Pretty good call. Junkrat is bot. Deathwing is up top. It means that they are able to push this, but also possibly get a kill here.
Yep. And the thing about curses, which a lot of people don't understand, is we see a big commitment here onto Dino, but Dino burrowing away to safety. Red team starting the okay. They slowly
Accidental right click.
Yeah, I think sorry, just trying to keep her wrath up there, just tagging the boss, just to try and make sure that her ultimate still goes on as they push this bot lane. Portal comes out here, hands of arrow coming out. Oh, what was? Ultralisk gets booped away into the air and avoids the Hanzo arrow, but it does go into the backline. As you see, Twilight Dream coming out here onto Anubrak. That's going to be 2 kills. Now the boss looks juicy.
Oof, the boss does look juicy, and I don't think the blue team are in a position to contest this. First of all, even if they do come back up in time to fight this, the other part is leyline is going to be a huge issue as well. So I don't think there's anything they can do with it. This boss is going to go to the red team, and they're going to go push, but keep.
But though Deathwing does ignore leyline, obviously, right? Does he? Yeah. Does leyline go through Deathwing?
No, he doesn't, because it's the same thing as the Chromie time trap. It's a stasis. It's not.
Oh.
So he will be leylined.
He would be leylined. Okay. We're learning stuff out here as well.
I think, anyway. I hope I'm not wrong.
I think it's been confirmed by Stats Corner over here as well. Oh, as Medivh has left the game, so there may be a pause incoming. Obviously, it's up to the players to pause, not the referee or the casters. And there's a pause.
There is a pause.
Yeah, as we will be right back.
Please bear with us as we just have this little pause moment here. I think we had a little bit of a discussion there about the leyline hitting Deathwing, but it was confirmed that leyline does indeed hit Deathwing. But both teams in a pretty reasonable position. Obviously, red team got that curse, and now have got the boss, Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing pretty well. A couple of little mistakes, positional mistakes from ZENON at the moment. But as I say, the main thing is they're only a level behind, same talent tiers. You know, anybody can come back and win this game. Shame about the DC. Let's hope he's not gone for too long. I don't know whether there's any kind of time limit rules in a Heroes Lounge or is in this playoffs. But no. Danu's Anubrak is seems to be struggling a little bit. He seems to be getting killed so easily by the Hanzo, the redemption build that we spoke about earlier. The armor reduction on level 7 is just chunking through at the moment.
Yeah, it's obviously proving a lot to manage with. As we know, Anubrak is a little bit weak to auto attacks, but we will go back as we go into the remainder.
Now, we do see the red team taking their boss instead of pushing the bot keep. Like I'd mentioned before, again, they're in no position to contest it simply because they're so far away, but also Medivh leyline is always going to be scary.
Yeah, so we see essentially a double boss play here. The boss was cleared up pretty quickly here by the blue team in the bot lane. They're only taking the 1 tower. So the red team cutting their losses short. Didn't want to greedily push with it, right? They're level 15. They're so close to 16 now at this point as well. It'd be pretty much a throw to try and force something at this point in the game.
We could see a fight here in the top lane as the red team is possibly going to look for an engage here. Dialer in the bush, finding out Dino. There's going to be possibly a portal here anytime soon.
Yeah, Deathwing is bot, obviously. It does take a while to fly. It is in the sky now, though, as we see the portal coming out here. But obviously the blue team wising up and getting away here.
Yes, that was a very good boop there by Junkrat. He gets away on his mine. But that could have been a big taunt and a throw into the backline. So that was a very scary moment for the blue team.
Yeah, and there's that level 16 we mentioned as well, in for the red team. Now, Hanzo did opt for flawless technique. So not opting for the percentage damage, but opting for flawless technique. Hitting heroes with hit storm increases the damage handled next basic attack within 5 seconds by 30%. Obviously, this alternates then with your Q and your auto attack as well. So opting that extra damage to see portal coming out, but Junkrat again just playing around that self boop, taking my level 13 Ripper Air.
The red team are in very good position there. Hands on the bot, getting the soak, getting the XP, while the red team is positioning and anchoring for him very, very smartly. Portal in, possibly to try and get someone, but Dino constantly ready with his Q to stun them so they can't get too much value with the portal. It's almost like Garrosh has to pop his Indomitable right before going into the portal if he wants to get any value.
Almost like a pre-cleanse, almost, isn't it? Really. Now the blue team, they desperately want level 16 here. They are going to get it from trickle XP, and this is going to be the big boy fight. Level 16's in the house here. Curse Bullet comes out onto the Garrosh. Double stun in by Anubra. Protection comes out though. Cocoon going out onto the Medivh here. They're trying to clear it. Obviously, Hanzo with that auto attack, clearing it now. Garrosh the taunt, but it's not enough, and he falls. And Junkrat with that ultimate Riptire taking down the Medivh, and he lost his stacks.
Rip stacks. We do see the blue team just not finishing up. They want the Malfurion, so they're chasing him down. Poor Malfurion is stuck in a very, very nasty place, and he's just buying time for his team as much as possible. Go Rider possibly trying to take a 1v1 here with the Junkrat, but I don't think he's going to take it, and instead is going to get away with Sonya. The objective is going to go to the blue team, and now it is 2 points to them. If they get the third one, they get Curse, and they're back in the game.
Yeah, Junkrat with Riptire, more like Rip Stacks, am I right? That was a yikes, even from me. Anyway, as we see the blue team in a good position now, they're even in XP. 6 kills to 5, 2 tributes to 1. What a turnaround this could be now for the blue team.
Greymane is going to be taking camp here with Anubrak. This is going to be putting some pressure around the map. This is a very good position for the blue team to come back. They have caught up in XP. At one point, they were almost 2 levels behind. So this is a great opportunity for the blue team. And they are possibly going to contest this, but they have an opening to give this objective again. Instead, maybe make some boss plays, because bosses are up in 50 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next one though, this curse, the potential curse for the blue team here. What would you do? You have to. Do you go for this, or as you say, do you try and trap on the way to it? But obviously, Medivh. This is the issue, right? Playing around with vision. Okay, obviously, the high level of play, both teams will be playing around their vision, not showing on the lane unless they have to. But Medivh just cancels all of that play.
Yes, it is very difficult to be a tank against Medivh because anchoring just completely goes out the window. We do see that Medivh is flying over them, ready to land a portal into the backline if anyone, absolutely anyone, makes a mistake. Junkrat is going to be constantly poking, getting his Qs out to make sure that the red team cannot channel the objective.
Yeah, and Deathwing's in the sky, and obviously we do have the top lane pushing in with a camp as well for the blue team. And Deathwing being in the sky can drop that interrupt as well if Junkrat misses it. So blue team are in a great spot here. They can slow play this, get value top, and obviously there we go. There's the Deathwing with that interrupt.
Yes, but the bottom is going to soon start pushing in as well, which is also an issue for the blue team. So this isn't everything perfectly for them, if that makes sense. This is going to be quite difficult. They need to make a play very soon.
Yeah, as you see, Junkrat again just go for that interrupt. Unfortunately, the Q missing. Deathwing getting the interrupt here. As we see the Q going out onto Nubrak. Taunt's going to come out as well here. Can they blow up the Nubrak? And Nubrak gets popped as Leyland goes in the backline just to zone out the rest of the team. Deathlight goes in, gets that billowing roar up, but Garrosh, see it coming, pops that unstoppable. But Malfurion goes down to the Riptire. Sonya, meanwhile, trying to wreak havoc in the backline here. But gets away this other boop into the trap.
Into the silence. That was an absolute amazing Deathwing fear there that saved the fight. But the Will Q is in a really bad spot. Shelvin starts ripping through him as he's in wolf form. The backline is solo and they portal themselves out. That is not a fight they can take right now. But a big arrow to stop X-Ray from channel Death Knight is way, way too low. But Rudzu, so is Go Rider, so is Will Q, and they don't have a healer.
Kelvin? The Q? The cocktail? No, it doesn't have it available.
Why didn't he to go cocktail build?
Oh, but he wants to go in, but they get the curse here. And look at this. Look at how low the red team are right now. X-Ray flies in. Death Knight, obviously just flying back up to the skies. But curse going over to the blue team. What do you get done with this now?
Well, this is going to be a very, very good curse for the blue team because this is the opportunity to open up the map for them to get a couple of forts. And if they get a kill or two here, they can get a keep. Getting a keep is so vital because of the passive pressure with the what are they called? Turrets? No. What are the pew pew things called again?
catapults.
There we go. I speak English.
Pew pew things. Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. So, see. Oh, Nubrak engaging onto the Hanzo, getting the cocoon as well. So lands a double stun and gets the cocoon out. Level 20's in as well. Death Knight landing down on that Deathwing. Garish gets the Q out. Leyline coming out just to try and save it. And confirmed, Death Knight gets caught by Leyline. The portal coming out there wasn't enough though. Baby little portal wasn't enough to save the Hanzo.
That was so well played. They protected him. They had a portal, but the route, ultimately, it was the route by Ultralisk that really popped him. Oh, Wilkie has to pop his Indomitable, goes into the portal, is protected. Deathwing uses ultimate to go across the map, but they don't get another kill on Garish. However, like I said, they're opening up the map. They got the forts. They're getting a camp now. They possibly could go for a boss. Again, they have to be wary about Medivh's ultimate.
Yeah. They want this top boss. They definitely want this top bot. Medivh ultimate on cooldown for 30 more seconds here. They don't know that, obviously, but 30 seconds on Medivh. Does have the cooldown reduction, though. So will he come in and try and contest this? 19 seconds? No, he's not. He's annoyed, right? He's buzzing around left, right, shaking his mouse. But
Obviously, the blue team were wary. They don't know the cooldown like we do, so they were positioning split up. That's the best way to do it. You split up, go into all corners of the objective, and then jump on the point at the same time and still get leylined. That's the plan.
So
Anyways, we see.
Yes, we are going to see a double boss play here for the blue team. I think this time they may try and push with this bot lane as well, but it's level 20 into level 20. But I still think this could be the right call. But Medivh is going to scout this out. Garish is with him as well. Junkrat just trying to get vision with his Qs. And this time, Leyline is up as well.
But this time, Medivh completely flies away and doesn't even bother. They are going to defend the top boss. The top boss almost got the keep, actually. That's pretty scary position now, because if there is a team annihilation on the blue side, as in if they wreck the red team, they could go straight for core now.
Yeah, but there is a pew-pew thing coming in with the wave top lane as well. So it may take the top keep down unless that's cleared up and Sonya goes
Those
top.
darn pew-pews. Anyways, the red team are possibly just going to give up this objective and instead defend this boss, because you know this isn't a curse potential situation. However, the blue team is also pushing with the boss, just like you said. This could be a great moment for the blue team, because if they get a kill or two, it is a possible GG.
Yeah, this is the moment, right? This is where tensions are going to be a little bit high, where you want to be playing absolutely pinpoint here. As you see, Greymane level 20, Hunter's Blunderbuss getting a lot of value here, pushing onto that keep and just chunking away. There's some Executioner as well, so any stun, any slow will proc that Executioner. This keep is foregone as Nubrak goes in here, lands a double stun onto Hanzo. Soft cleanse him up from Alfian, but it's not enough as Deathwing lands and Hanzo goes down.
That was a huge line lane there for Peel, but it was just not enough as Death Knight fears everyone to the back line, and a cocoon goes on the Medivh so they can do much work. The Wilkie is trying to get away while Dialer, but Sonya gets shredded.
Sonya falls, and this looks like it's going to be GG. The core's taking damage is at 90%, 80%. Catalysm coming out here. Is this clownable? It doesn't look like it is here for the blue teamers. Oh, Sound Barrier comes out, and that's going to be GG. 2-1 going over to ZENON in our grand final.
Well played.
And there we have it. ZENON have made it to the grand final of the Mythic Championship. What a game 3. They beat out Hooye Polucky to make it to go against Hype Pew Pew at the end. I mean, what have you got to say about that game, Galaxy?
That was a very back and forth game as well. Will Q's team and the Medivh factor did very well in the early game, and a couple of good plays by Dinu, especially in the late game, to find the Hanzo, which got flattened by the Deathwing soon after. But no, early game was a bit rough. Late game, ZENON stepped up, did what they needed to, and took control. It was good to see, and they rightfully deserved their spot in the final.
Yeah, they've today they had to play against Rip Hot BlizzCon 2018. They had to play against ZENON. No, they are ZENON. Sorry, they had to play against Disgusting. Now they've played against Hooye Polucky, and finally they've made it after these 3 matches to the grand final against Hype Pew Pew. It's yeah, phenomenal. I think the draft really showed, that last pick of the Deathwing. You were sort of saying about it earlier. It's obviously a big hero. It's prevalent in the meta at the moment, and being able to just last pick it and just go, yeah, well, that's actually that fits our comp nicely. Must have brought them good fortune in this match, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, also something to know about ZENON is the flexibility of the roster. You've seen Dainu play tank, you've seen Death Knight obviously play tank, you've seen Dainu play off lane, Kelvin play off lane. If somebody feels better on a certain hero, they've clearly shown they can flex that role if they need to, and it's good. It's a strong team to have when you've got players who can flex several roles.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Dainu was on a Nubrak was, a shock to even you. But after getting used to it, perhaps in the early game, but finally, those big stun combos where they were just able to blow people up and eliminate them, brought them into that nice double boss play at the end.
Yeah, I mean, as I said during the pause, Nubrak was getting killed quite quickly just because of the armor reduction, but once a Nubrak gets level 20, gets his rewind, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in so many CCs that any target has a rough time. But no, I'd say on that last pick Deathwing, as we said, proved to be very strong. We struggled to kill him in the end of the game as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've done tremendously well. I mean, do you think that preparation that they must have gone through today, looking at, HypeUP have only had to prep for basically 2 matches. ZENON have had this whole length going through. I mean, do you think they're ready for these funky drafts that HypeUP are going to possibly give them?
I mean, there's always that benefit and that negative side to you coming through the losers bracket. Obviously, the negative side is you played so many games, and you could be a little bit mentally drained, and then the positive side is that you're still in that focus mode where obviously HypeUP's had a little break to chill, reset, but sometimes that doesn't do a wonder for a team, and they may lose the first game of the best of 5 and then go, nope, we need to shape it up, and they've shown they can do that with butcher drafts, with murky drafts. I think ZENON are drafting more standard. There's nothing too wild, in terms of picks, but HypeUP have got that little cheese factor, if you want to call it, and a cheese factor, takes games. It always did, even in HGC days.
Yeah, I mean, so often it's sort of talked about that a cheese can get 1 or 2 games, can't it? But I mean, HypeUP seem to have an endless amount of cheese. They've got a whole cheese factory back there, I swear.
I mean, if you win the game at the end of the day, it doesn't cheesy the draft is, or how standard and boring the draft is, in a sense. As long as it's a W, it's a W. I'm not sure about the off lane hammer pick. I mean, I think that's always a weird choice. I can remember Blank pulling that out in the Nexus contest, I believe, for Team Netherlands way back, and I think it resulted in a loss as well because they had like this triple backline comp. But it even shows that they've been doing these kind of cheesy comps for a while, regardless of the roster. So it's good to see. It's good to see.
It is. It's so good, and I think as a viewer, it's nice to watch some of these funny heroes come out. I mean, no one really expects Murky to get that much play, but to see it today has been great. Maybe we'll see it again in the grand final. I mean, is it a one and done strategy? Some of these things.
You see, the thing is, obviously ZENON and the players in ZENON and obviously Swamp Grotto playing the in-houses together. So the kind of the niche picks, such as the Murky, was already known about from obviously Kelvin and X-Ray, so I'm sure they are very aware of what Swamp Grotto can play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that HypeUP have just brought him in as a sub, obviously it's changed their game plan a lot. With obviously Swamp Grotto being able to play these little bit strange heroes as well, but they're still obviously the grand final of the Mythic Championship. It's fantastic. Yeah, we've already got the map bans going through, and the draft will be coming up soon. But I think we're just going to have a little small break as we look at some of the replays of the season, just before we head into that beautiful grand final of the Mythic Championship of Heroes Lounge Season 11.